Hello, everybody. Dr. Heather Yost here from Yost Wellness Center. And if you have been around me for a while, you know we are always looking for the most powerful, natural, and science-backed tools to help you heal. I want to balance your hormones. We know so many of you are trying to lose weight. We want to regulate your nervous system and help you really feel your best. So today I want to introduce you to something truly transformational that we've added to the clinic. It is our new Dahlia red light therapy bed. It's beautiful. It's powerful. I've been using it over the last couple of months and noticed difference myself. And it's here to help you heal your body really from the inside out. So to help us launch this in a new and exciting way, educational way, I invited a very special guest, Steve, the creator, visionary behind the Dahlia bed. He's going to help us kind of unpack, the science, the benefits, what makes it different from anything else on the market. So I know, Steve, you've obviously been in this space for a while. I would love to know what inspired you, like to create Dahlia, to bring like full body red light therapy to people outside of what we've always heard, which would be like pro sports, elite clinics. Like, what's the origin story?
So it's interesting. I've always loved light. Even as a kid, I found light very fascinating. My science projects were solar panels and things like that. But when I got into, as a parent, I worked in television for quite a bit. And what I noticed was that in television, there's sound, which is very important, right? There's the set that looks really nice, but lighting can set a mood more than almost anything else. And so what I noticed is that Disney shows are extremely bright and they're loud and funny, right? But dramas are quiet and dimly lit and things like that. And so what I found is that light just was interesting to me and I wanted to know more about it. I started playing with it at home with my kids. I had a light bulb that would slowly turn from white to pink in the evenings, and it gave them this little bit of a psychological concept that it's time to go to bed. And so when that light bulb slowly faded from white to pink, and this is about 12 years ago, it gave them that little advance notice. And I noticed that was a pretty neat psychological effect that they had. So then I started wondering, well, what's the physiological effect? If I can do a psychological change where going to bed isn't such a rough patch, then maybe there's a physiological thing that could go on as well. And I was privileged to be part of a study in a research hospital where we actually flooded the walls of pediatric and geriatric rooms with different colors. They could change them, play with them. And what we found was this massive physiological healing just from looking at it. And I thought, wow, we got to get into this a little deeper. And that's how we fell into, it's funny how life changes you sometimes.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in hospitals in their technology systems. And eventually I was like, here's an opportunity. I think we can
Right.
do the right thing.
Right. You find kind of almost a gap in healing or recovery
Yeah. Yeah.
that maybe needs someone to
Right.
fill it.
Yeah.
Can you break down for people who've never even heard of red light therapy before what's actually happening? Like when somebody lies in a Dahlia bed, which from prior videos, everybody has seen how gorgeous this bed is and why it makes sense, the design, which we could go into a little bit as well. But what's actually happening to someone when they lie in that bed for 15 minutes?
Yeah, so a lot of it depends on what setting you're on, but we're using photons of light. So these are things measured in billionths or nanometers, billionths of a meter. So what we're using photon lights to make tiny changes to the cell. It's officially called photobiomodulation. And what we're really trying to do is elicit a certain response out of that cell. In a fat cell, we're trying to poke it and drain the stuff out, right? We don't want to
Right,
kill it. That's not our goal.
right.
We want to drain that fat cell, let your body then handle and put all that junk that's in the fat cell into the toilet, right? And then
Yeah,
I know with good nutrition, you keep it flat, turns into a raisin. We use the whole grape to raisin concept.
yeah, yeah.
For pain, what we're trying to do, pain and circulation, we're actually trying to get into that cell and heal it. So inflamed cells from inflammation and pain, that's what pain is, right?
Yeah.
Cellular inflammation is a huge thing from toxins that we get around, just living, microplastics, things like that. They kind of adversely affect our system. And so what we're doing there is we're using nutrients are bigger than photons, right? So nutrients are bigger. So nutrients can't get in, waste can't get out of the cell. And so what we do is we use light to penetrate that cell. We irradiate it nice and bright. And what happens is we are actually we're activating the mitochondria. and we're kind of releasing nitric oxide off the cell, and we're
Yeah.
releasing ATP, right? It's making
Right.
ATP.
Right.
That's how you feel more energetic. And so
Right.
that's what we're doing at the cellular level. We're actually making tiny changes to cells to elicit a specific response, and it works for healing.
So more energy kind of at the cellular level, which is
Yep.
better blood flow, collagen production, deep tissue regeneration. I mean, that's huge for so
Yep.
many of our patients,
Yep.
especially those that are dealing with chronic inflammation, hormone imbalances, weight struggles, skin changes, recovery needs. I have had some people since we haven't officially launched it, but when they look at the bed, they're like, that looks like a tanning bed. Like, or I already have a light panel in my home. Like, what would you say to that?
So we are nothing like a tanning bed. Obviously, we have a zero gravity design. There are no tanning beds with zero gravity designs.
Right, right.
But if they were to look real closely at a tanning bed, what they would notice is like tubes of lights about 4 to 6 inches below the surface of this thick acrylic. What you look
Yes.
at when you look at ours is, first of all, it's soft. There are no tanning beds that are soft because you're laying on a hard slab of glass. So it's uncomfortable, number one. Number two, there are laws of physics, just like the law of gravity. There's a law of physics that deals in quantum physics specifically, and it's called the inverse square law. Inverse square law talks about how distance from a light source fades the intensity very significantly. I'll give you an example. If you had a 1,000 lumen, we use lumens in this world. If you had a 1,000 lumen light bulb and you measured it at the surface, it's 1,000. But if you get 6 inches away, it's down to like 10. So you lose 98% of your intensity in just 6 inches. So a tanning bed usually has a dome across the top. It's like a big coffin, right? You
Yeah, yeah.
close the lid, you might be 12 inches away from the top. You're just getting light on your surface. It's not penetrating because we've lost the intensity. So if you look at our bed, we've designed it to actually touch at least 75% of the body, right? We want to touch the body. We use the right wavelengths so we can go deep and penetrate that tissue as best we can. We want to give you a healing effect, not just a glowing effect, when you're laying in it. So our bed was actually designed to follow the laws of physics, and it just happens to look cool.
Yeah.
We wanted to be
Yeah, no.
comfortable, but our goal was not really look cool. Our goal was actually get some results. And so what we like to say is we did a lot of research to get results so that
Yeah.
people are happy in return.
Right. Can you speak to the benefit of the different types, like the risks that come with a tanning bed, and the safety of a red light therapy bed?
So the safety of red light therapy is very high. When you test your device with UL, which is a very recognized third-party testing lab, you really want a certificate there that says you're a low risk of harm. That's what the FDA looks for. So
Right.
tanning beds obviously are high UV light. We use no UV, so we are not burning the skin. We're not doing anything like that. We're not boiling water out of the body. We sometimes get that question. We're not dehydrating anyone. This is
Right.
very, very safe. These wavelengths have been studied, like 4,000 or 5,000 peer-reviewed studies. Some people say six. I haven't found all 6,000, but so I like
Yeah.
to, pull the number down just a little bit. But about 4,000 or 5,000 that I'm aware of that show that it's extremely safe. It's very effective and it works really well. So tanning beds, not really the same thing. A
No.
lot of different wavelengths, much more
Well,
risky.
obviously tanning beds can be overused. I mean, this really can't it's not invasive. It can't really be overused, but the body does still need time to sort of digest and respond to
Correct.
the therapy.
Yeah, we like to see 24 to 36 hours between visits. That's only because we are, especially in a fat loss mode,
Yeah.
is we're squeezing all those fat cells, right? Big cluster of grapes is fat
Right.
cells. We're running over them with a steamroller of light,
Yeah.
and all that junk is in your interstitial fluid. And we really want your body to have your liver specifically want to have time to
Yeah.
process that and get it out of your system. So
Right.
it takes 24 to 36 hours.
Okay. So let's talk results. Like, what are some of the most exciting benefits people are experiencing using Dahlia?
So we've had some very significant fat loss results. We've had someone, and again, this was not in our clinic. We do have a clinic, so we do watch results and things like that. But we often see, I know you would probably guarantee 1 to 2 inches on a 15-minute visit,
Yeah.
but we see 4 to 6 regularly. The highest we've ever seen is 22 inches. Now, the
Lost
bigger
in
you
one session?
in one 15-minute
Right.
session, right? So
Right.
that's a lot of loss. Now you have to be good size to have that kind of a loss, right?
Yeah.
And that's over the various parts of the body, added together. So we want to be upfront about what that is. It's not just off your waist.
Right.
So
Right.
We've seen that, but in the pain results that we do trials in our own clinic, the pain reduction is phenomenal. So whole body pain, back pain. We've
Yeah.
had people with spine stimulators come in and say, I don't need to have a spine stimulator surgery anymore. I was on the schedule. I don't need it anymore. I can now walk, miles instead of steps. So pain is very good, and circulation is great too. We
Yeah.
have people that come in with that neuropathy type gray foot, and 20 minutes later it's pink. So we have very, very good
Crazy.
results with light therapy. It works very, very well.
I know for me, I really am using it for that, for pain relief that I get periodically. One of the things that totally shocked me, I get periodic shin splints, and I
Mhm.
cannot tell you what I have to throw at these shin splints to get them to go away. And the last time I got shin splints, I went in the bed and then the shin splints were the same. And I thought, darn it. I went in a second time 24 hours later and they 100% were gone.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And I
Yeah.
didn't do the kinesio tape. I didn't do the binding. I didn't do the stretching. Not that you shouldn't do all of these things, but I normally have to throw 5 to 7 days at shin splints with
Yeah.
all these different modalities, and it cleared me 100%. I was like, this is crazy. I'm also using it for overall body like inflammation. I'm going like through perimenopause. I want it to help me support my body through that.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of us, as we add life to our years, want skin rejuvenation. And
Yeah.
for the first time ever, I went to an all-inclusive resort in March, and I typically gain a little bit if I do something like, and
Yeah.
I didn't gain anything. So it's been obviously the bed will work no matter what. It's a guarantee. You still have to do your part when it
Yeah.
comes to getting in the red light therapy bed. But who do you feel like who would benefit the most from trying red light therapy?
So you nailed the demographic for most of our clients. It's that 40 to 60. They're just not feeling good. On the
Yeah,
female side, they might be menopausal, perimenopausal, might be in that zone, right? You're just not feeling great, and
right.
there's inflammation that you're just not knowing about that red light can attack and get rid
Yeah,
of. Obviously, there's a nutrition component to some of these things. We want people
yeah,
to clean up their diet, but
yeah.
but red light is just, we call it an accelerator, right? So
Right.
you can take aspirin and it does something, but it's not, it's not really what you're looking for. Red light is an accelerator.
Yeah,
It is a tool. It is not a magic potion, but it does really work fast,
yeah, yeah.
and it helps put you on that path to lower inflammation and health.
Yeah, I found it incredible. I'm really glad that before we really fully launched it, I had time to get in there myself, understand the benefits, because I really created Yost Wellness Center 21 years ago, to be a place where healing feels beautiful and intentional and customized, not that you're just another number. So Dahlia is just one more way that we're making that a reality for our
Yeah.
patients.
Yeah. Well, good. We're excited to be partnered with you, and
Yeah.
wish you the very best.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Yep. You too. Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful rest of the day.
You too.
Bye.